laying around the houses. The houses? Like I have more than one house? Yeah, in my houses, my many houses, I have the screws are just laying around the floor. What is up, people of Earth? This is Monkey Man, and thank you for joining me in another episode of Operation Food Computer. Today, we got a big one. We're doing a big one today. I thought it wasn't going to be that much. I thought it was just going to be like putting this air exchange module on and then putting, like, just screwing it on and figuring a little bit of wiring out, but no. It can't be that easy. In order to do today, we need a heater. So we got our heater. We got our Lasco MyHeat personal heater. We got that, so check. I've actually done a little bit of preparation for this video. Shocking, I know, but I got most of the materials that I need right here that I'm going to show you guys. We need our 7x7x5 project box, which is this. Our project box, the actual air exchange module box thingy. A USB to AC converter. Okay, we have that right here. One of these bad boys. A USB, basically like what you use to charge your phone. A USB that plugs into the wall. 2 6-inch fans. So we got those from our local computer store a few episodes back, so we got those. And we also got 3 6-inch fan guards from the same place. So we got these fan guards so we don't chop our fingers off. We need a louver, L-O-U-V-R-E, louver. So I think this is a louver lever. It's like a vent cap, so like flaps for the vent. So I guess the air can only go one direction. I think that's what it is. It looks like that. So we got that. We need a humidifier, which we got. Our little bottle cap humidifier, which is like this thing. I think a bottle goes on the bottom, so it sits on like the top like that, and then it just like sprays out. We gotta figure that out, because I opened it a little bit earlier and I was trying to figure out what exactly is going on. I have no idea. But that's a thing, so hopefully the directions will tell us in the future. We need some weather stripping, which I just took from our previous episodes. We have like we bought 2 separate rolls of it, and we have like a little bit left on each roll, so I'm hoping that's going to be enough for what we need to do with it. We need an air pump, which we have, that we had left over from a fish tank that I'm no longer using, so it's just like the basic one. It just says air pump 20 on it. I don't know. It's just like a very basic, whatever the cheapest one at the store was, is what I got. And then we have an air stone and the tubing to go with that. Air stone, air tubing, standard airline tubing it says. And then we need an array of different size screws that we need like 1/2-inch screws, 1-inch screws, and 1.5-inch screws. And I have those just laying around the houses. The houses? Like I have more than one house? Yeah, in my houses, my many houses, I have the screws are just laying around the floor. I don't know why I did a Russian accent. What did I do? My many houses. Blood, I'm gonna suck your blood. I lost my train of thought. Okay, standoffs. Can just use bolts from frame. I don't know what the heck that means. Step 15. It just says standoffs ×4. I don't have any of that. We'll figure it out when we get to that part. And then all the tools we have except for a hand file. Who cares? I have sandpaper. Does that work? I don't know. But I'm going to take all this garbo over to the table where we usually work at, and I will bring you guys back when we're over there. And we're back at the project table, ready to do amazing things. I piled all of our garbo up here, And we got our instructions, we got our motherboard, so we should be all set. Let's start. Okay, instructions. Create modified project box. A few tips before starting: mark all holes on the box. When viewed from the back of the box, drill a 4.5 inch diameter hole that is centered 2 3/8 inches right and 2 3/8 inches up from the bottom left corner. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta go get our drill bit then. Alright, so we laid out like a little towel here to catch any bits of plastic. And I got my drill bit. Woo! It's gonna make a mess. Oh well. Who cares? Mess, smash. Okay. So it says, let's pick a corner. Pick a corner. This is the bottom left. It says, when viewed from the back, drill a 4.5 inch. This is 4.5 inch. I think, right? Yeah, 4.5. That is centered 2 3/8 inches right and 2 3/8 inches up from the bottom left corner. So that is, where's our handy dandy ruler? Okay, so 2 3/8 inches right. That's almost 2.5. So like here. And up. It wants us to center this bad boy on that. Which, is that gonna work? That's gonna work. Okay. Up from the bottom left. When viewed from the back. Okay, we're drilling. Here we go. Alright, it's getting there. Not half bad. We did it! We did it! We made a hole! We made a huge mess all over the kitchen floor, but nothing a broom can't handle. Ugh. Plastic. Plastic everywhere, hazardous. Okay, so this is the bottom left. We have centered right where it's supposed to be centered. I can fit my whole arm in there. Now, next step. When viewed from the back of the box, drill a 1 3/4 diameter hole. Do I have a 1 3/4 thing? I have a 1. Let me go look for a 1 3/4. Okay. I get tired of running up and down the stairs. Instructions, I said. Okay, let go of this one. Drill, let go. 1 3/4. Got it. Now, this one goes centered 1 inch left. 1 inch left. Where's my pencil? Where did I leave my pencil? What? Why? Oh, it flew across the floor. Okay, we did it. We made our 1 3/4 inch hole, 1 inch left and 2 3/8 inch up from the right, centered. Now it says, when viewed from the right of the box, from the front of the box. So this is the front of the box. This is the right of the box. Drill a 1 3/4 inch diameter hole that is centered 1.5 inches left. Okay, from the top right corner. Top right, 1.5 inches left. And 1.5 inches down. Easy. Oh yeah. And there we have it. Like that, and then on the right side of the box, just like it says. Okay, now it says mount the heater into the modified project box. I'm gonna do that after I take a break, because I am sweating. Okay, we're back. Break's over. We are ready to get started once again with mounting the heater into the box. When looking into the project box with the big hole on the right and the little hole on the left, the heater will be mounted upside down with the front of the heater oriented through the big hole. Okay, so let's grab our heater. Let me pull up a chair here. Okay, open the heater. That's bigger than I thought it would be. That's what she said. Ooh, okay. Fancy. Okay, it's oriented upside down, so like this. With the front of the heater oriented through the big hole. So, like that. Ooh, yeah, that worked out nice. Okay, next. The heater will be pushed all the way into the bottom right corner. Okay, pushed all the way. Okay, make sure the heater is switched on. Okay, very important step, because the way that it's sitting in here, you won't be able to get to the power once it's in here, because the power thing's right here. So that's very important. And then route the heater cable through the right side hole. Okay. I'm routing through the right side hole. Okay. Done. Then apply mounting tape to all sides of the heater that will be in contact with the project box. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so we put mounting tape on the front here next to the power button, and then on the bottom as well. And we're going to stick this in here just like this, and it's going to stick to the bottom and to the front. This is hard. Okay, bottom and the front. Did we get it? I think we did it. Okay, 3, attach project box to the motherboard. Okay, let me clear out some of this garbage from the motherboard and I'll bring you guys back in a second. Okay, so as it stands now, this is our motherboard. We just put this together. Let's read the next step. Place the modified project box with the heater inside of it onto the motherboard on the section labeled air. Secure the box by screwing 4 small screws into the corners and seal the project box cover. Really? That's all that needs to go into this box is the heater? It fits. Okay, the holes line up. That's a miracle in and of itself. Secure the box by screwing 4 small screws into the corners. Okay, this is a corner, this is a corner, this is a corner. But we covered up one of the corners. Oh wait, no, this here. Oh. It says drop the screws into the holes and use a screwdriver to drive them into the PVC. So we need a screwdriver that's this long? Really? And we're back! And I went to the store. To get a new drill bit. I got a 6-inch drill bit that should do the trick for us. It should fit right in here, like a so. And it's like a good 2 inches longer than our regular screwdrivers. But I figured I'd get a one that could fit in the drill instead of a screwdriver, because I think it would be way too hard to manually screw anything into the, what is this made out of again? It's been so long. Whatever the motherboard is made out of, I don't think that hand screwing something into it would be very easy. Okay, so we got one screw in here already that feels like should be good. I can't see down deep enough in there to see if we actually screwed it in all the way, but it feels secure. And we'll drop another screw in on this side, like that. That feels pretty good as well. Then we'll do this side. Okay, so the 6-inch drill bit works. Next step. We secured the box by screwing the screws into the corners, sealed the project box cover. Okay, so here's the cover. They're like long screws. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then they're like a key. It only fits in there one way. Okay, and then we'll just use a regular screwdriver for these. Does it work? Whoa. Okay. It worked. Sort of. Okay. Project box cover. Sealed. Secure. Done. Okay. Assemble and mount the air pump on top of the air exchange box. Okay. Push one end of the tubing onto the end of the air pump. Okay, so we'll get the tubing and our air pump. Okay, so one end onto the air pump. Oh no, is this gonna fit? Oh, it'll fit. I'm gonna make it fit. Ah! It's a tight fit. I'm gonna say that's good enough. Route this line down the left side of the motherboard and pop the tube through the hole on the lower left side of the panel. I need to cut this pump, it looks like. I don't know how many feet of this I need, but I don't need this much for sure. I'm gonna cut like half of it off, maybe? Cut this much off because I got 25 feet of it. And I'll pop it through this hole like it says. Okay. We'll just kind of let it hang off the table there. And the power cord from the air pump will go into the wire management module and plug directly into the power strip. The air pump will therefore always be running when the power is on, okay? Hot glue the feet of the pump so that the pump does not fall off the air exchange box when the motherboard panel is jostled. Mount the air pump as far from the wall as possible because wires will have to be able to make it through that hole. And we are back with our now mounted air pump. And I think I did get the wrong size hose. Or not the wrong size hose, but I don't know. Maybe this just is supposed to fit that tightly, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Alright, let's see what the next step is after I glue this. Hot glue the feet. Okay, done that. Okay, I mounted it as far from the wall as possible so that wires can go through here still. Okay, assemble and mount the vent fan. Place one of the fans, okay, let's grab one of our fans. Place one of the fans on top of the lower large hole of the motherboard panel such that the air is blowing into the grow chamber. Okay? Okay, so I got 4 of the random 1.5-inch screws that were around my house that I was telling you guys about earlier that I'm going to use. Bring that down a little bit, bring that up a little bit, right here. Okay, here goes nothing. Stop moving around, fam. And the last screw. Now we'll tighten them all down. Ooh, that's a little... They're a little bit bendy. Okay, that looks good. We can loosen this one up a little bit. Okay, that looks good. We got the fan guard on there. It is tight on the board. Did any of the screws go through? None of the screws went through. We're good to go. Alright, we used 4 medium screws. Assemble and mount the louver. The inner cylinder on the louver protrudes too far into the opening of the motherboard. Shorten the cylinder with an X-Acto knife by at least half its length. Are you kidding me right now? Half its length? Oh my gosh. Alright, so we gotta cut off half of this plastic with an X-Acto knife. Fun. Fun stuff. I'm gonna go do that. I am just gonna go do that, okay? Food computer, poop on you. And we're back. One huge pain in the butt later. We cut off, okay, half of the length of the inside thingamadoodler. And instead of using an X-Acto knife, we just used regular scissors. And what we did is when it was like this, when it was still all together, we cut little slits in the top all the way around. And then we just basically cut diagonally into it. And then we could work our scissors around and we slowly cut all the pieces off like this. All around the outside. And it worked out fine. Didn't take as long as I thought it would, but it was still a pain in the butt, and I can't feel my thumb now because it's all numb from the scissors. I'm sweating again. The louver will be mounted on the inside of the motherboard on the surface inside the grow chamber. Make sure it is oriented such that gravity keeps them closed. Okay, gravity, got it. Use 4 of the small size screws. Mount the louver to the motherboard. Okay, 4 small size screws. There you are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we gotta flip this on its side. Okay, so we're gonna be mounting right here. Gravity is that direction, so we're gonna mount it like so. Uno. Is that even straight? It's sort of straight. I guess it doesn't really need to be straight. It just needs to blow open. Alright, we got the thingy-madoodler on. So this is what it looks like so far. Here's the back. With our air. With our air. Heater. And then the fan. And the louver with gravity holding it down. Let's see if we can lay this down without damaging it. Mount the circulation fan on the inside of the electronics panel in the lowest position that is closest to the front of the bot. Okay, I figured it out. You want to know why? Because I'm a genius. No, not really, I'm just kidding. from this picture right here that I'm about to show you, this little tiny picture, that's the louver we just put on, and then they have a picture of a fan right next to it. So I'm guessing the bottom left is on the inside of the grow chamber, gonna be blowing air this way into the chamber. This is the most bottom left. Ta-da, that's it. So we're gonna need a fan guard, it says. And then it says also that we're gonna need standoffs. Alright, so I found some shorter screws instead of these 2-inch ones. And we're gonna do the recommended 3 washer standoffs and see how that works out for us. Let's make, not that, let's make this the top one, so that this can go through this hole. Alright, there we have it. 1 fan, bottom left, ready to rock. And also be careful when you're screwing these in, because if you screw them down too tightly, too fast, it'll snap. Like this one over here almost snapped all the way through, and I just barely caught it in time. It's barely hanging on there, but it's still there. Alright, what do we got next? The circulation and vent fan will be wired together. Consult the schematic for polarity. Each fan has a 3-channel cable. Nope, mine has 2. Okay, I figured it out. After some research, I found out, since we got 2 wires, the red cable is going to be our 12-volt power, and the black cable is going to be our ground. And then the third, there's nothing in the third, just like it says for this. It says that usually the gold cable is ground if there's 3 wires, but since there's only 2 wires, then the black is ground. So we're going to go ahead with that in mind. And we are going to get 4 of these male-female connectors going. Let's get a red one and a black one. It says, taking a Grove cable, connect red and black to the circulation fan power. So the circulation fan is this one. Connect red and black to fan power and ground. Okay, so we're just going to do straight across, black to black, red to red here. Okay. And then it says in white and yellow. So let's get a white and a yellow. White. Yellow. And it says those go to power. So white's going to be another power. So white to red. Wait, this is yellow. I'm retarded. White to red. And yellow to black. Okay. Of the vent fan. The connector end of the Grove cable will then plug into S2. So these together are going to be 4-pin S2. So I'm going to go ahead and, like these sides I'm going to wrap with electrical tape, and then I'm going to tape these together at the ends as well. Alright, so what we got going on here? Look at this contraption. It is all confoozled. But from one fan, we got electrical tape connecting these 2 wires, electrical tape connecting these 2 wires from both the fans, and then both the fan cables are going into these 4 cables that I electrical taped together in the order of yellow, white, red, black, which is coordinated with what the diagram says. So that when we plug this into whatever we're plugging this into, because this is S2 now, whatever we're plugging S2 into will be in the correct order. Voila. And the next thing we were going to have to do is the humidifier, but we have run out of time for today's episode, so that's going to be it. We did a lot. We did this box, we did the air thing, we did the 2 fans, we did these. We did a lot of stuff this episode. I feel accomplished, and I'm going to show you some of the pictures of the aftermath in just a second. But I want to thank you all very much for joining me, and if you're enjoying this episode of Operation Food Computer in this series, please give me a like with the... redo. Please hit that like button with those dependable thumbs, and subscribe to see more daily content and join the barrel, and I will see you guys in the next episode where we will start with the humidifier. Peace out.